Hey there! So, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is widely considered to be a pretty good game. Good enough that almost 20 years after being released, fans of the game are still playing, finding new glitches all the time. In particular, everyone a part of the Zelda speedrunning community has done an amazing job finding glitches, so you guys deserve some credit. The game has some pretty amazing glitches that I'd like to share with you today, but there are so many that this video can only contain a small portion of them. Also, in case you want to try these glitches for yourself, I'm playing on the 1.0 Japanese version of the game, so there you go. Now, enough of this intro. I'm DPadGamer, and it's time for glitches in Ocarina of Time. So, the Infinite Sword Glitch, or ISG, is both very useful and pretty fun. Here is how you do it. Go up to an object that you can interact with, like a sign for example, and stand next to it. Hold R to shield and press B to stab. Mid-stab, as the sword is being brought back, press A to interact with whatever you're next to. If your timing is correct, Link's sword should now have a glowing white trail to it. Now, the hitbox of Link's sword is stuck in the attack state, which means that it'll deal damage if it just touches something or someone. An interesting side effect of ISG is that Link cannot fall off of ledges, which is extremely useful in some more advanced glitches that I'll go into in part 2. While you got ISG, you're free to run around all you want, but there are a few things that can disable it. Those include crouching, swinging your sword, swimming, taking damage, or even just leaving the area through a loading zone. Also, despite the name, it's not just limited to the 3 swords. ISG can also be performed with the Megaton Hammer and the Deku Sticks. The hammer is an interesting one here. If you activate it somewhere like Death Mountain Trail for example, you can use ISG to walk through rocks and enemies. And lastly, it's worth pointing out that if you swap weapons, ISG will remain active, so have fun with that. Another useful weapon technique is the power crouch stab. Basically, when you jump attack, your next crouch stab will have the same power as that jump attack you just did. The power crouch stab also carries the effects from the jump attack. That means if you jump attack with the hammer and crouch stab a rock, it breaks. Crouch stabbing is useful for more than just dealing damage. Near the beginning of the game, after you get the Kokiri sword and shield, you're supposed to enter the Deku tree. Instead, head over to the exit of Kokiri Forest, which is guarded by this silly child. Go ahead and cut the sign if you want, it makes it easier, I think. Crouch here and angle yourself so that you're looking right about here. If you crouch stab the wall and get pushed backwards and press A to talk to the guard at the same time, Link should end up inside the guard. When you go to move around, you'll now be trapped inside of a circle of guardness. Now, you want to position the guard around here and slowly move him towards the wall. With a bit of finagling, he'll drop through the ground and you're free to leave the forest. Now, near the end of the game, in order to progress through Ganon's tower, you have to break the seal by completing 7 different trials. Let's just skip all that. Head into the spirit room and grab one of the statues. You want to position it in front of the door slightly to the right. Face the corner and jump slash. Link should slip right through and now you'll be in the main room. Nothing is loaded, which includes the barrier blocking your way. If you can find your way to the door in the dark, you're free to head up the tower. If you're having a hard time, try using the colored beams to help find the bridge. Now, I know it's a bit random, but let's access the Shadow Temple early because, hey, why not? There are multiple ways to make this happen, but I'll show one method that's relatively easy. Head over to the graveyard as an adult and get up onto this platform. Stand up on this crate and pull out an explosive, bomb or bomb chew. With a bomb, you'll need to wait until it's about to explode before jumping. That can be slow and inconsistent. Instead, you'll want to use a bomb chew. Hold Z and run off the ledge. As soon as your legs leave the box, press R to shield to drop the bomb chew, which makes it explode immediately. Follow up with a real quick B press to give Link a little bit of a boost so that he can actually make it onto the ledge. Once you make that happen, here comes the interesting part. We're going to need to activate the Infinite Sword Glitch using a bomb. You want to pull it out, place it, crouch stab, and interrupt the stab by picking up the bomb. The timing is somewhat precise because you need to be able to do all this and then throw the bomb away after you get ISG to avoid taking damage. Now that you got ISG, you want to angle yourself like this and then perform a backflip. Link should land on the seam if done properly. It took me a few tries to be honest. You want to seam walk all the way to this point, but be careful to not drop down. If you do, you'll find yourself stuck, not be able to get past the door. If you follow the seam and end up above the tunnel and side hop towards the torch room, you'll avoid the trigger which spawns the door. Now, you can just run on in and have some fun. Let's jump on over to the fishing pond now. Normally, you'd come here to obtain the golden scale, which is only possible if you're an adult. However, here's how you get it early as a child. First, you want to fish up a specimen that will beat the current record by any amount. Next, swim to the center of the pond. You want to turn so that Navi isn't hovering over a fish, and then hold Z as you move over to the fisherman, and press A to him still holding Z. If you have him weigh the fish, he'll give you the golden skill for some reason. So, if you grew up playing this game, it's quite possible that Dark Link has haunted your nightmares. Turns out his AI is actually pretty trash. All you need is your sword and the Megaton Hammer. Start the fight and swing your sword at Dark Link a few times. You don't even need to connect with it. Now just pull out your hammer and crush his foot, which he won't dodge for some reason. Dark Link will always pop up behind Link, so face away, turn and hit him, rinse and repeat. Easy peasy, this fight is cheesy. Deku sticks are pretty useful, but they break so quickly. It turns out that this is actually helpful. If you perform a jump attack with the stick against the wall and have it hit twice, Link will continue holding it rather than putting it away like usual. You can make this work by jumping at a certain angle, or instead, jumping at a wall from a raised platform. You can no longer swing the stick, but otherwise it works as expected, meaning you have an infinite Deku stick. If you play the Song of Storms and then quickly activate the Lens of Truth, it won't use any magic power.
That's pretty neat.
Have you ever wanted more bottles? 4 of them not enough? How about 24? That might be a bit much, but it is possible through something called bottle duplication. The most simple method is to take something that you can pick up and drop repeatedly, like a fish for example, and pause as Link is swinging the bottle to pick it back up. If you swap an item with the bottle, that item will become a bottle. Now before you do it yourself, here's a warning. Any item that is turned into a bottle will be lost forever. However, you can duplicate over Deku sticks and Deku nuts without any worry, because picking those up off the ground will overwrite the bottle. So, bombs are incredible. I know that, and I want you to know that I know that because there are quite a few glitches that involve bombs that you're not seeing in this video. They'll be in part 2, but here's a quick example of what I mean. On any ledge that you can jump off of, drop a bomb behind you. In the moment that it explodes, you'll jump off the ledge with Link and swap to the hover boots, which should result in a mega jump. I'm not very good at this, so I should probably practice more, but you get what I mean. In some situations, taking damage from bombs is extremely helpful. Sometimes you gotta die quick. If you drop a bomb and then pick it up as it explodes, you'll take damage. Immediately pull out the ocarina, you'll take damage. Put it away, you'll take damage. Keep repeating this, and you can make one bomb deal a bunch of damage to you. Bombs can also mess everything up. Let's jump on over to the boss of the Shadow Temple, Bongo, because I like doing things out of order for literally no reason. For reference, this is what the start of the boss fight looks like if you do it normally. Now instead, if you pull out a bomb while falling down the hole and let go of it before control is taken away, this happens.
It can't be bargained with, it can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity, or remorse, or fear, and it absolutely will not stop, ever!
As we're nearing the end of this video, we've come to my favorite series of glitches that all fall under the category of Swordless Link. As the name suggests, we need to have Link lose his sword, which happens at the end of the game in the boss battle with Ganon. This isn't the only method to achieve this, but it's what I will be showing off. Once you're at the point where you don't have your sword, if you're playing on the 1.0 version of Ocarina of Time, just save and restart. Link will not have his sword equipped, and one can be re-equipped from the pause menu. If you're not on the 1.0 version, things are a bit harder, but also more interesting. Going into this fight, you'll need to have something in a bottle that you can drop and pick up, like bugs or a fish. Drop the bugs and recapture them. That's important so that Link is now holding a full bottle in his hands. Make sure you have another item under C buttons that Link can pull out mid-air, like bombs for example. With that full bottle in Link's hands, you want to backflip, and while mid-air, press the button that you have the bottle on, and then bombs. When Link lands, he's holding the bombs as if they're an ocarina. That's a glitch called Ocarina Items. As long as you have a bottle with something in it, you can play an ocarina whenever and wherever. Now, to help prep things for later so that you can turn off the Swordless Link glitch, play the Sun Song using the Ocarina Items glitch. This will reset the boss fight, and despite having a sword thrown away, Link will still have a sword in his inventory. Now perform Ocarina Items again, and play any warp song to get out of there. Now that you have escaped the boss fight with the Swordless Link, things get real fun. A bizarre result of not having a sword equipped is the ability to use any item while riding on Epona. Using the ocarina, for example, will drop Link off of Epona, but he's still connected. Pressing A will make Link remount Epona from any distance. Also, while on foot, Link's movement still controls Epona, so she's basically an RC car. Deku Nuts will drop Link off of Epona as well. Also, it's worth noting that if you're using the Deku Nuts to drop off of Epona, it's possible to keep the camera on Epona, which that basically makes this the Legend of Zelda Horse of Time. The hookshot, if you shoot it into the air, doesn't do much. It does have a nice noise though. When combined with Deku Nuts, you can achieve first-person mode in Ocarina of Time. Also, using the Megaton Hammer drops Link off of Epona as well, but when I tried to talk someone, I just got stuck forever, so careful about that one. If you're running around as just Epona, you can initiate a cuckoo swarm, but unlike Link, his horse is immortal, so it just goes on forever. Also, Link is the only one that activates the trigger to transition from one area to another. That means that Epona can explore the Lon Lon Ranch exit freely. Since we're already here, let's start the obstacle course by talking to Malon. Once it's started, pull out the ocarina and play the Song of Storms.
We're gonna party till we're purple!
Yeah, I love being purple!
If we take Epona over to Gerudo Valley, we can try using the hookshot on a proper target. The results are spectacular. Once you get off your horse, Link will begin to hover. You can move freely, floating in the air, even going out of bounds.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide?
When you finally move to the point where the hookshot is connected, Link will jump high into the air. Instead, going very close will cause Link to start bouncing up and down faster and faster. If you get a good bounce going and then move to the hookshot point, your jump will be much higher. Lastly, if you touch land while hovering, Link will no longer be able to move, so you'll need to restart the game, so be careful on that one. Our very last glitch for this video takes us to Lake Hylia. Go ahead and park Epona near the Scarecrow and drop off using either the Ocarina or Deku Nuts. Go ahead and put on the Zora Tunic and Iron Boots and run into the water. Once you are completely submerged, touch in the bottom, press A to remount Epona. You want to fire your hookshot at the fence behind the Scarecrow and take off your Zora Tunic. For some reason, the game still considers Link to be underwater, so there's a timer counting down to his death. Just wait a bit and watch what happens. Congratulations, you're now both dead and alive, cursed to walk through a dark abyss for all of eternity, listening to those stupid Iron Boots. Thanks for watching, and as always, thanks to my patrons whose support makes these videos possible. Like I mentioned near the start, there'll be another Ocarina of Time glitch video, so let me know in the comments below what glitches you want to see in that one. In the meantime, check out some of my other videos if you want. That's about it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.